What's going on, everybody? Zach is back with another maintenance video for you guys today. Today we're going to be doing the air filter on my 350. I'm going to show you guys how to clean it, inspect it, and re-oil it. Let's dive into it. So there's just a few things you're going to need. I've got my toolkit here. Nice thing about these KTMs though is that they don't require any tools whatsoever, and I'll show you that when we dive into taking the air filter out. A few things you're going to need though. You're going to want a pair of gloves. I ran out of my good gloves, so I'm just using these Dookie gloves here. They'll work fine. You don't want to get this oil in your hands because it's really, really tacky. It's really hard. It's like getting grease on your hands. Get yourself a pair of gloves. Any kind will do. I got some rim grease. I've got my filter cleaner, and I've got my filter oil here. And then I've also got some super lube and just some regular, red grease. I'll show you what we're going to use these for at the end of the video. It has to do with the pins on the plastic that snap in place, but I'll show you exactly what I mean for that. You can use any oil and cleaning kit you want. I really like the no toil stuff. I've been using it for a while. It's fairly inexpensive. I've had this kit for about 2 years now, and it's still about 65%. Clean air filter is key. I see a lot of people neglecting it. When I show you my air filter, I've only had 2 rides on it. You're gonna see why it's pretty important to check your air filter. Every few rides, if you know you're in a dusty condition, check your air filter. Dirty air filter means a dirty engine. Dirty engine means it's Dunsky. Got a little tote here. You can see it's for my air filter cleaning only. So let's go ahead and jump into taking it out of the bike. Okay, so you wanna go ahead and get your gloves on. And as you can see, these are some really dookie gloves, like I said earlier. Just by putting it on, the thing ripped. This is super simple though. So you're just gonna go ahead and grab the panel here, with a little opening here. There is a pin that is here. You can actually kind of see it on the plastic. It's like a little circle dimple. Just grab it right here, pull, and then you've got another pin that's down here at the bottom. It's gonna go ahead and pull, and off she comes. Most of you probably already know how to do that, but I figured I'd show you anyways. So plastic's off, very simple. And the next step with these KTMs is right here. You're gonna flip this down, okay? And you're just gonna slide the air filter out. And this is why I was saying you're gonna want to have gloves, because they're really, really filthy. And as you can see, this air filter is really filthy. Yeah, look at that. And like I said, this is only 2 rides. It's funny because the lighting doesn't make it look so bad. When you're looking at it in person, it's actually worse. The lighting is brightening it up so it doesn't look as dark and filthy, but it's pretty filthy. And this grease you see around the rim here is the rim grease that I tend to usually like to use. Makes a better seal. And that's the same thing for what this is. This stuff you see right here, this is rim grease. Okay, so once you got your bucket of hot water, not boiling hot, just warm out of the sink, get your filter cleaner. Again, this is the no tool stuff. Some people use way more than I do. I'm gonna add 2 capfuls. Some guys use less. Really depends on you, how dirty your filter is. I'll add just a sprinkle more. Less is really more when it comes to the filter cleaner from No Tool. Give this a little stir with our hand. Get everything in there mixed up. So you let it sit, dissolve, give it a mix for about 30 seconds. It's gonna pop the sides off the cage, like so. I don't know if you can see the dirtiness in the filter again from this angle, but it's really, really dirty in person. So what I like to do is clean my filter first, and then I'll drop the cage in after and let the cage soak. Fully submerge the filter. As you can see, it's already stripping off. Look how dirty that water got real quick. And then I'll let the filter sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's already significantly cleaner just from doing that for 30 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead and let this soak for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll jump right back into it. Okay, so after about 10 to 15 minutes, we come back to the air filter. We're gonna go ahead and check it, wring it out, get all the water out of it, and inspect it. Now, when you're wringing out your air filter, do not want to be twisting it. I'm not twisting it at all. Just kind of fold it over. Squeeze it. Get all the water out. As you can see, it's already significantly cleaner. I mean, look at this air filter. Big difference. Look at the difference in that air filter. Now this is where you want to inspect your air filter. Everything on the top, on the outside looks good. When you're inspecting your air filter, you want to make sure you're grabbing it and kind of pulling on it ever so gently, but enough to where you're not separating, but enough to where you're stretching the filter ever so slightly. You can make sure there's no holes or anything. This hole right here is normal. This hole right here is normal. But looking at this hole right here is not normal. See that hole right there? So it looks as if to me, I am going to be ordering. Check your seams. Sometimes they're broken on the inside, not on the outside. Looks like I'm going to be replacing this air filter though. As you can tell, look at that right there. Nice little tear in it. Small little hole in the back. We're going to still go ahead and oil this filter and everything for the sake of the video. We're going to go ahead and dry this out and then we'll come back to oil it. Okay, so while you're waiting for your air filter to dry before you oil it, go ahead and clean your air box out nice and clean like you can see mine is right now. Nice and dry enough for this. So what we're going to do, we got our air filter, we got our clean bucket. This oil you want to shake every time before you use it. The reason being is because the alcohols will separate from the oil. You want to shake it, make sure it's all nice and mixed up. What I like to do is I don't like to take this whole foil cap off. I like to cut a little slit in it. That way you can kind of consistently keep a steady amount, small amount of oil coming out rather than pouring it, dumping too much in one spot. Makes it a little bit easier to applying it. So we'll oil this filter up. We're going to spare it the rim grease because I'm not going to use this filter. This is just to show you guys how you oil it. I'll go ahead and I'll use some of this oil for this. So basically you apply the oil to the filter. Apply some more oil. Get some on the inside. If you add too much oil initially, it's perfectly fine. So we got some around the rim now. We got some on the inside. Again, we're just going to kind of go ahead and work it into the filter. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and fully oil this one like I typically would do. Just go to show you how you do apply the oil. Very simple to do. Pro tip for you guys. See this little tiny mark right there? I don't know if you can see that or not. What causes that is your cages don't have these on the top of them. I went ahead and bought this from Rocky Mountain. It was like $5-6. Get one of these caps. It's just a plastic sharp piece like that sticking up on the inside of your cage. It'll wear a hole through your filter. So buy one. If you got a 3D printer, print yourself out one. See if I can get this filter to do what I usually like it to do, even though I didn't fully oil it. So basically, what you want to do is when you're done oiling your filter, do the squeeze test. Give it a squeeze like this. This one doesn't have enough oil on it. I don't think I want to waste any more oil. But you give it the squeeze test like this, and if the oil is bubbling up and through, and then you work it back in, you're good to go. What you're going to want to do after that is you're going to want to go ahead and set this filter aside, let it dry for about 15-20 minutes. The alcohol will evaporate from the oil. The oil will become really tacky. If it looks like you got just a little too much oil on it, you can come back behind it and lightly pat it with a paper towel. Now again, this filter does not have enough oil. I'm aware of that. You just check to make sure you don't have any dry spots. And the oils are usually colored so you can see the color of it. You can tell like right here there's not enough oil. It's too tan, it's not red enough, and here's not enough oil, so forth. What you would do after that, you'd apply your bead of rim grease all the way around, put this on the cage, grab your air filter, slide one side in, also had this filter for a long while now, so it's about ready to replace it anyways. Again, as you can see, there's the tear. Let's go ahead and throw it back in the bike. Another tip for you guys, if you don't have one of these, get yourself one of these. Really cheap, and it allows you to, when you're washing your bike or when you're gonna clean your air filter, you go ahead and snap this thing in place, blocks off your intake. You can go ahead and spray out the inside of your air box. Air boxes on these bikes get really gnarly, really muddy and everything because they're not sealed. Get yourself one of these, clean out your air box periodically. So now we're going to take our freshly cleaned air filter. As you can see, big difference, man, from what it was originally to what it is now. You got this little tab here. It's going to go ahead and kind of pull it down. This nipple is going to lock inside of one of these tabs up top. Same as this, just a little plastic O-ring looking thingy. What I like to do is make sure I'm right on it. And to make sure you're in the hole, once you're in up top, grab the air filter and just wiggle it left and right. So if it's down like this and it goes like that, you know you're not in. Right there, you're in. It's not wiggling left and right at all. Pull this tab down, like so. Minor mistake. Go ahead and make sure when you put these in, I don't know if you guys noticed, I didn't have this all the way down. It was just like that. I just laid it in place. Make sure these are fully seated down. So again, go up there, you go right into the hole, grab the inside, left and right, no movement, slide it down, and she's in. When you have grease, grease helps seal the rim of that so no dirt or debris or anything goes up and underneath your air filter. Take a little bit of grease, as you can see, apply a little bit to these pins, like so. Take your plastic, slide it underneath, like that. Line it up, you know when it's in place. Snap her back in. Alrighty, that's gonna do it for this video, everybody. Very simple task, anybody can do it. Periodically check your air filter for sure. Don't go half a season, a full season without doing so. I usually check mine every 2 rides, just open it up, look at it. It looks the way it did. That was just on 2 rides. That air filter was that dirty from just 2 rides on it. Some places don't have as much dust and soot in the air when you're riding as we do. Some areas are different than others, but periodically check it. Very simple, takes 10 seconds to pop that side cover off. As you notice, this air filter around had a hole in it. That's fine. I've had that air filter in the bike since I've had the bike, so it's about time to replace the air filter anyways. With that said, Adventure Zach is out. I will catch you everybody on the next one. Peace.